Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Monday, October 3rd, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with overnight ratings for Friday night's Smackdown on Fox. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics reports that the episode, broadcast from the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba, experienced a drop in the Fast national ratings from the previous week. Smackdown averaged 2.076 million viewers, down from 2.385 million the Friday prior. Ratings in the 18 to 49 demographic also fell, going from 0.63 to 0.50. Adjusted final ratings numbers are expected later on today. In AEW-related news, TBS champion Jade Cargill appeared Saturday night at a bare-knuckle fighting championship event in Monroe, Louisiana, accompanying Lorenzo Hunt to the ring for his main event bout against Quentin Henry for the vacant BKFC Cruiserweight title.
That is Jade Cargill. She is the AEW TBS champion. And behind her is the reigning BKFC light heavyweight champion Lorenzo Hunt. A win in this bout for the vacant BKFC Cruiserweight title. And Hunt will join Luis Palomino as the only two fighters to win BKFC World Championships in two separate weight classes.
Hunt went on to defeat Henry by knockout in 1 minute and 36 seconds of the third round to win the title for the second time. In Lucha Libre news, the Wrestling News' Lucha Libre correspondent Roy Lucier reports this past Saturday night's main event at Arena Guadalajara was a mask versus mask match between Gallo and Rayman, with Rayman losing the match and unmasking afterwards. Rayman was revealed as Cesar Linares, the son of Rayo de Jalisco Jr., age 43. He started wrestling back in the late 90s as Hijo de Rayo de Jalisco Jr., but his father took away the name, leading to the usage of the names Hombre Sin Nombre, the man without a name, and finally his current name of Rayman. In AAA news, the company announced a stadium show at Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona for December 3rd. The show will be a tribute to the career of Blue Demon Sr., who would have turned 100 this year, and will also feature the U.S. debut of AAA Mega Champion Hijo de Vikingo. Tickets have gone on sale for the event. In CMLL news, the company announced the luchadora Fabi Apache, recently departed from AAA, will be the newest participant in their Women's Grand Prix tournament. Fabi is 43 years old and has been wrestling since the late 90s. This is her first appearance with the CMLL promotion. The Grand Prix tournament will commence on October 28th in Arena Mexico in Mexico City. Others in the tournament will be the international group, made up of Ivelisse, Lady Frost, Stephanie Vaquer, Tei Honma, Hikaru Shimizu, Alex Garcia, May Saruga, and Avispa Dorado, who will go against a Mexican group of Fabi Apache, Dark Silueta, Dallas, La Harishita, Reina Isis, Luvia, Marcella, and Princess Sugit. With independent news, here is the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
Ricky Steamboat's return match, promoted by Big Time Wrestling on November 27th at the Dorton Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina, will see him team with FTR in a six-man tag team match against a team billed as Arn Anderson's Four Horsemen. The team is comprised of Jay Lethal, Brock Anderson, and a mystery partner, with Lethal scheduled to wrestle as his Randy Savage-inspired character, Black Machismo. The event, minus the match, was announced 2 weeks ago in a Sports Illustrated article. The announced match will be Steamboat's first since June 2010, when he teamed with his son Richie against Kalen Croft and Trent Beretta on a Florida Championship Wrestling show. Earlier this year, Steamboat, who is 69 years of age, revealed that he turned down an opportunity to be involved in the main event on July's event promoting Ric Flair's last match. Steamboat stated at the time, quote, "I thought about it for a week and just recently declined on it. I know when I wrestled Jericho at WrestleMania 25, then we had the return match at Backlash in a singles. But at 69, and I know it's a six-man tag and I could get a little this and that in, But with all due respect to our fans, I'd want them to remember me that last time I was in there with Jericho, when they chanted, "You still got it." I don't want to scar that phrase. End quote. For the wrestling news, I'm Lou Kipilman.
Turning to Japanese news, New Japan Pro Wrestling held the second show of its weekend jaunt to London on Sunday. Held at the indoor arena inside the Crystal Palace National Sports Center, the show's main event featured Tetsuya Naito defeating Zack Sabre Jr. in a match to determine who receives the next title shot at Will Ospreay's IWGP United States Championship. The penultimate event of the evening featured Tomohiro Ishii defeating Yota Tsuji. Tsuji, one of New Japan's young lions, was substituting for Jonah, who was unable to make the trip due to the effects of Hurricane Ian across Florida. In other results from the show, Kazuchika Okada defeated Bad Dude Tito, and in the first match of the inaugural New Japan and Stardom IWGP Women's Title Tournament, Jazzy Gabert defeated Ava White. Gabert now moves on to the semifinals on October 23rd in Tokyo, where she faces Kairi, the former Kairi Sane in WWE. Both All Japan Pro Wrestling and Freedoms ran Tokyo's Korakuen Hall for individual shows on Sunday. Notable results from the two cards included Atsuki Aoyagi defeating Rising Hayato to make the first defense of his All Japan Junior Heavyweight title. All Japan Tag Team Champions Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda defeated Koji Doi and Kuma Arashi, and Toru Sugiura and Tomoyo Harada defeated Game Changer Wrestling's Cole Radrick and Joey Janela to retain the King of Freedom Tag Team title. And finally, in news from outside the ring, AEW wrestler Miro, credited under his real name of Miroslav Barnyashev, appeared last night on the series premiere of the new CBS crime drama East New York, playing the character Nikolai Dushkin. The part is to be a recurring role and was one of the reasons, in addition to a hamstring injury, that Miro was out of action for several months earlier on this year. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page, and for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast, and remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.